Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be reviewing BaseLang, a Spanish language learning program that's pretty different from a lot of other apps that we've used and reviewed. So I'm going to break down how BaseLang works, what I like, what I don't like, and ultimately whether I think it's an effective program for learning Spanish. And just as a heads up, because I'm just going to be covering the major highlights in this video, if you find you need some more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review of BaseLang over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight BaseLang review. It's a quick way to find it. Okay, so before I just jump into the pros and cons of this program, let's quickly cover what BaseLang is and how it works. So from a high level, think of BaseLang as an online Spanish school. The company offers two different options, Real World and Grammarless. Kind of odd course names and not very descriptive, but that's what they're called. The Real World program is their primary course and it's pretty simple. You pay a monthly fee and you get unlimited access to online sessions with Spanish tutors. Pretty simple. And then the Grammarless package is sort of like a Spanish boot camp. It's an intensive 80-hour program in which you spend 2 to 4 hours per day meeting with a teacher over the course of a month or two. This program is really designed for people who want to learn Spanish and begin holding basic conversations in a very short time frame. That's it. BaseLang is essentially just a platform that offers on-demand Spanish classes with native teachers. It's pretty straightforward. So with that background, let's move into what I like about the BaseLang program, and then I'll share a few negatives in a couple minutes. But the first positive is the fact that the company's flagship offering, Real World, gets access to unlimited tutoring sessions for a flat fee, which is really nice. I mean, you could literally schedule 8 tutoring sessions per day if you really wanted to, if you wanted to treat it like a full-time job. Now, obviously, I'm guessing most people aren't going to take it that far, but still, the fact that you can schedule as many tutoring sessions as you want at no extra cost is pretty awesome. Most other apps charge by the session or hour. Just for example, one of BaseLang's competitors, Lingoda, makes you buy live sessions in bundles. It is not unlimited. So obviously, this is a big win for BaseLang students. And next up, I like the fact that BaseLang has more than 450 instructors. With so many different teachers, you're never going to get stuck with just one person. If you schedule a tutoring session and you don't click with that particular individual, then it's no problem. Just schedule your next tutoring session with someone else until you find an instructor that you really like and get along with. And just to be clear here, with Lingoda and italki and some of these other Spanish tutoring companies out there, you just don't get this type of flexibility. Plus, with so many instructors, you can literally book a tutoring session last minute. You really don't have to plan ahead. So if your lunch appointment gets canceled and all of a sudden you have a free hour on your hands, you can just hop on and quickly meet with the tutor. It's pretty convenient. All right, so pro number 3 with BaseLang is that all of their instructors actually follow a structured curriculum. This is really what separates BaseLang from other Spanish tutoring companies. In other words, it's not just a free-for-all among the various tutors as to what they teach. With BaseLang, there are 9 levels where level 0 is the absolute basics and level 9 is for more advanced students. For example, during level 0 sessions, you'll be introduced to a few new words and phrases to help just get you started. And then levels 1 through 3 are all about getting you to the point where you can have your first conversation in Spanish. And then it goes up from there until you reach level 9, where the instructors will begin teaching you the real nuances of Spanish grammar. Now, in my opinion, following a structured curriculum like this is beneficial for a few different reasons. Not only does it provide guidance on what to learn next, reducing the need for you to plan your own studies, but it also optimizes your learning efficiency by avoiding unnecessary repetition or gaps in your knowledge. Plus, seeing your progress as you move through the different levels can honestly be pretty motivating, encouraging you to continue learning and improving. All right, so next up, and this is somewhat related to my last point, but I like that BaseLang's entire goal is just to get you to a conversational level of fluency as quickly as possible. And let's face it, that's probably the goal of like 75% of people anyway. They just want to be able to converse in Spanish and they don't really care about anything else. And that's kind of where BaseLang comes in. They forego all of the fluff that apps like Duolingo and Busuu offer, and instead just strictly focus on having you practice speaking and listening in a supportive environment with a fluent teacher. All right, so next up, I like that as you get introduced to new vocabulary during the live sessions with your teacher, BaseLang prompts you to review flashcards to reinforce the new words that you just learned. And what's cool is that BaseLang uses a unique repetition system that makes sure you reach 100% confidence level for each word before you stop saying it. This spaced repetition algorithm helps reinforce your memory over time, reducing the likelihood that you're going to forget something. And last up here, I quickly want to just cover the company's Grammarless program. Now, obviously, it's not going to be for everyone because it is pretty intensive and it's different from the company's bread and butter Real World program. However, if you're dead set on speaking Spanish and speaking Spanish quickly, this is going to be a good bootcamp style option for you. Essentially, BaseLang throws learning grammar out the window, hence the name Grammarless, and immediately goes straight to teaching you how to speak. It's almost like you're a toddler learning your native language. Just think about it. Back then, rules were not explained to you and the input was kind of random and unorganized, and you just started to naturally understand the patterns of your new language. But with the Grammarless program, you essentially learn the same patterns, but this time just in a more structured method. That way you learn in months instead of years. And one cool thing is that BaseLang actually guarantees that you'll become conversational by the time you complete your 80 hours of tutoring. So long story short, if you need to learn Spanish quickly for work or a move, then the Grammarless program from BaseLang is going to be a good option. All right, so now that we've touched on the positives, let's turn the tables and discuss some of the negatives of using BaseLang to learn Spanish. And the first one is cost. There's just no getting around it. BaseLang is expensive. Their real-world program costs around $180 per month, and their intensive Grammarless program costs around $1,200. So if those price points are just not going to work with your budget, you might want to consider another program like Babbel Live, just as an example. That costs around $50 per month. I'll drop a link to Babbel Live and a couple other budget options down below in the description for you if you're interested. However, with that said, I should just mention that BaseLang does offer sales and special promos from time to time, so definitely make sure to check out the description below for discounts. In fact, I'll do my best to keep that text down below the video screen updated with the most current coupon codes that I can find, so make sure to check that out if you do end up signing up for BaseLang. All right, so next up, and I sort of touched on this earlier, but another downside with BaseLang is the variation in instructor quality. With over 450 instructors, as you might imagine, they're not all superstars. Even though BaseLang has a pretty rigorous hiring process according to their website, you will occasionally come across a tutor that just doesn't have great communication skills, which is kind of a bummer. But again, the nice thing with BaseLang is that you can just quickly change tutors at the drop of a hat. And last up here, negative number 3, is that the BaseLang program is just not as convenient overall as using a more traditional language learning app like Pimsleur or Rosetta Stone, for example. You need to schedule your tutoring sessions out, which makes your calendar more rigid, and the minimum time for a session is 30 minutes. So that means you can't just pull up your phone at a moment's notice and complete a quick 10-minute study session if you like you could with other apps. There's just more planning and logistics involved at the end of the day. But that's about it, so time for my final verdict. But before I get to that and forget, I should just mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning subscription to one lucky person. I'll put all the details down below in the description on how to get entered, but just know it takes like 10 seconds and hey, you never know, you could win a totally free subscription to BaseLang. All right, time to answer the big question. Is BaseLang worth the money? And is it effective for learning Spanish? Well, after testing the company's real-world program, I think the answer is yes, it is worth it. I know the price tag is expensive. $180 per month is definitely some serious cabbage, but if you can afford it, it is definitely a very high-quality program. The fact that you get unlimited live tutoring is awesome, and I love that the company's curriculum bypasses all the fluff and focuses solely on getting you to a conversational level of fluency as quickly as possible. So really, it's just kind of up to you. If you're determined to speak Spanish and you're actually committed to learning for at least 8 to 10 hours per week, then I'd say BaseLang is an excellent option and is definitely worth the money. If, however, you're looking for a more casual and passive Spanish program, then I'd say to stick with cheaper apps like Rosetta Stone, Babbel, or Pimsleur. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something about BaseLang. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and drop me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written review that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website. Again, that's testprepinsight.com, or you can check out the other videos we have on our YouTube channel. Got a bunch of great video content on there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.